In our first class, we have seen about employee relation management strategies and organizational aspects of employee relational management. So now, in this session, we will see behavioral aspects in employee relations management. So, an effective employment relation is based on the following important issues. The first one is understanding how human beings react in specific situations and how they try to satisfy their needs, drives, instincts, and wants. Second one is the effects of education, training, ethics, standards, expectations, and the rewards on the individuals. And the third one is the nature of the work and the effect work has on the individual, and also the expectations of relations at the workplace. Workplace relations include intergroup relations and the relation between individuals and organizational culture. So there are different theories of management or theories of motivation. The first one is system theory. This style is exploitative, authoritative. And the second one is the style of benevolence, authoritative. This one is just a bit of consultation and a participation of the workforce. Sorry. The third one is the style of consultative. These aims and objectives are framed after consultation with subordinates. Teamwork is encouraged by this. Productivity is higher. The fourth one is the style of participative. The supervisors have a very supportive relationship with the workforce. Here, group decision making is adopted, very high performance. In addition to that, when we explain about some theories, in order to meet the human needs, we need to understand about Maslow hierarchy of needs theory. This Maslow in sociology, they will define about Maslow hierarchy. So Maslow hierarchy of needs into three simpler and broader class of needs. So that one we call it ERG theory. ERG theory. E stands for existence needs. This includes need for basic material necessities. In short, it includes an individual, physiological and physical safety needs. R related needs. This includes the aspiration of individuals for maintaining significant interpersonal relations with family, peers, supervisors, and superiors. The G1 is growth needs. This includes needs for self-development or personal growth and advancement. Maslow self-actualization needs and the intrinsic component of esteem needs fall under this category. So there are different motivational issues. Motivation and achievement, we will see about motivation and achievement. When we say about achievement, to help employees attain higher level of achievement, organizations develop the following characteristics within their employees. The first one is activity, autonomy, long-term vision, self-discipline, self-motivation, and self-awareness. So it is good to assess these things. So research will help. If employees have already researched this, it's good for the organization. So the three motivational factors that influence achievements are attitude, drive, and strategy. Motivations in an organization will be dealt by different ways. The first one is money, motivation and money. So high salary levels enhance self-image and self-esteem. So salary increment. Wages earned form the base of interoccupational compensation. The salary paid reflects the importance the organization places on the employees. And also, this is one of the motivational factors. Motivation in the employee relations. you must know that managers need to learn how to motivate employees and the factors which affect motivation. So employee needs discussed as Maslow theory of motivation include basic needs, safety needs, social and interpersonal needs, self-esteem needs, self-actualization needs. So this is very important. By this, we'll proceed to the issue of communication. When we deal about communication, communication can be dealt with. Communication can be dealt with two issues. Communication has about different types. So, communication is a process of exchanging ideas, of information between people. Organizational communication includes the system of the message, interaction, discourse, and campaign in an organization. So types of communication. So there are passive communication. This is an effective form of communication. People using this form of communication to avoid confrontation. In order to avoid some confrontation, people use passive communication. They don't communicate their wishes or desires. This communication can cause alienation, anger, frustration, depression. So rather than confronting face to face, they use papers, emails, and other issues. So the other one is one-way communication. This communication travels only in one predominant direction. And it's common in formal organizations and in military structure. You see, in military structure, communication is a command. So the chain of command goes from grassroots level, from up to the grassroots level. So there is no any question. Just trust and obey. There is no other way. The other one is one-way communication enhances feeling of alienation. Two-way communication, this is very important. The form of communication encourages dialogue between employees and their superiors. So consistent communication between employees and their managers helps in building trust and loyalty. Employees are given an opportunity to clarify their doubts, seek superior support and express their opinions. The other issue is active communication. In this form of communication, messages which everyone can understand and respond to are issued. The employee raises issues and respond to any problem without any fear, misunderstanding, are clarified clearly. These are just verbal way of communication. The other one is non-verbal communication. In non-verbal communication, people communicate their attitudes without using words. So a person called G.W. Porter classifies non-verbal communication as follows. The first one is physical. This includes facial expression, gestures, tone of voice, body motion, touch, and so on. The second one is aesthetic. This includes creative expressions like playing instruments, music, dancing, painting, and sculpturing. The third one is symbolic. This makes use of religious and organizational symbols. The other one is props and settings. These are used to put others at ease or to put someone in a position of disadvantage. The last one, but not the least, is science. It's not science, S-C-I-N-C, but it is S-I-G-N-C sign language. This is a mechanical means of communication and includes signing flags, gun salutes, horns, and airs. So we will see the importance of communication in an organization. If we develop good communication, we will establish good working relations. So effective communication is essential in an organization to establish good working relationship. If you have good working relationship, People are easy to communicate each other interpersonally, between their peers, and also between their supervisors. So good communication will help to have problem solving. So good communication skills help employees convey their problems and issues in an effective way. This helps in preventing problems from escalating. Problems can be resolved quickly. Good communication enhances also production. Effective communication is necessary to keep employees informed about the rules, policies, and procedures of the organization. This helps employees understand their duties better and perform their work in a better way. This increases the productivity and accuracy of the workplace, work done. The other one is engaging employees. Effective communication makes employees feel that their opinions and suggestions are being considered. So that's very important, you see. Engaging employees. When employees are engaged in communication, they develop a sense of belongingness. So when people feel like a sense of belongingness, they are able to do from their inside, or they are heartfelt. So it's very important. In an organization, there are some methods to improve organizational communication. So in order to improve organizational communication, the first one is when you communicate, you need to be clear and transparent. Clear and transparent. So the other one is be comprehensive. Ensure that the communication includes all the points in common. The other one is be precise and concise, to the point. Don't run around the bush. So it's good to discuss clearly in a proper way. The other one is be generic. So ensure that discussions are generic. Success and failures needs to be discussed. You see, sometimes as a human being, we humans, we hide our failures. But from our failures, people will learn. Even in an organization, it's good to discuss about failures and also successes. The other one is be assertive. Communication needs to be assertive and positive. This helps in making decisions and arriving to conclusion. The other one is be attentive. Develop listening skills. Verbal communication can only be clearly understood parties involved are attentive. Encourage two-way communication. Two-way communication helps improve employee relationship. This considers the opinions and views of both parties involved. So by this, we'll proceed in ERA, Employee Relations Management, we'll proceed to the decision-making process. So in an organization, there are issues discussed, communicated, and then there will be decision in every situation. So let's first understand what decision-making is. Decision-making is a mental process which results in the selection of an option from many alternatives, from many directions. So decision-making is both logical and emotional. So there are different types of decision-making. The first one is authoritative. In this form of decision-making, the manager makes all the decisions. The subordinates follow them. They don't have right to discuss or to ask. So this, we call it authoritative. The second one is facilitative. Facilitative, in this form of decision-making, the manager and the subordinates together make decisions after discussing the options, after looking at the options in a different way. So they say together. The other one is consultative. So in this form of decision-making, the managers consult their subordinates, but the decisions made by themselves. So good leaders consult their subordinates. They will bring ideas from their subordinates that will help them to decide proper decision. The other one is delegative. Delegative is just they delegate people and then they will become the decision. So there are different types of models of decision making. rational model. The first one is rational model. So by rational model we mean this is a normative decision-making model. So this model is used for complex decisions. It provides a structured approach to decision-making process. In order to apply this, there are different forms in making rational decision as follows. The first one is, it is good before deciding, it's good to identify the problem or opportunity. First, understand and identify the problem. Then, examine the useful opportunities. The second one is gather information. Gather information which is relevant to the problem and which helps in making the right decision, the right time, the right place. The third one is analyze the situation. Analyze the alternative courses of action that are available. Find out the ways in which the data can be interpreted. The fourth one is develop options. Generate all possible options and try to be creative and positive. Evaluate options. Choose criteria and evaluate. Look for different ways of decision making. Select an alternative and then act on the decision. So there are different models of decision making. There are three models mentioned in the handout. The first one is Carnage model, incremental model, and also garbage can model. This one it has already explained. So the streams of events identified by this model are as follows. There are problems, solutions, choice opportunities, participants, and a decision-making process. So by this we'll proceed to the HR information system. When we say about HR information system, there are issues dealt in HR information system. The first one is payroll. Payroll, this model of HRIS, Human Resource Information System, these models gather information of the employee, time and attendance. So it calculates deduction and taxes, it generates pay slips, tax reports, checks, bank process. So in HR system, the other modules are benefits of administration. This module tracks and administers employee benefit programs. So the benefit program include insurance, reimbursements, profit sharing, and pension programs. The other one is HR management. This module covers many HR aspects, from employee recruitment to the retirement. It records employee details like addresses, training programs, skills, positions handled in the past, and so on. So the other one is in HR information system, training. Training is included. This module administers and tracks employee training and development programs. So records will be made. What areas does the person have already trained? The other one is performance appraisal. So this module evaluates the job performance of employees in terms of quality, time, and cost. This helps in analysis of employee strengths and weakness. So as a human being, each one of us has our weakness and strengths. So we need to develop, identify those weaknesses and bring support from others. So the other one in HRI system, human resource, work time. This module tracks the work done by the employees. And the other one is employee self-service. This module permits employees to update their personal details about their families, about their leave, and issues like that. So there are some important guidelines to select HR information system. Human resource information system has become very essential for organizations to manage employees. So the first one is assess the degree of flexibility and stability that the HRIS, in HRI system, there are four main functions of HR department. These are payroll, time and labor management, benefits, and HR management. So the advantage of implementing HRIS, these functions are follows: payroll. So these are, it seems elementary, but it's good to discuss in detail. Payroll, this automates to the entire payroll process by collecting and maintaining payroll data. This collection of information such as employee attendance, computes and deductions, taxes, this will be dealt by professional guys. The first one is time, the second one is time and labor management. So HR personnel can collect and assess employees' time and labor information. This helps in analyzing of employee performance. So the other one is employee benefits. Different organizations have different benefits for their workers. So in HRI system, this will be dealt clearly. So employee benefits are very important because they help in motivating employees. For example, in a company or in a factory, they have some uniforms, that's employee benefits. Training, on-job training, so those are very important. The other one is HR management. This HRIS reduces the manual and paperwork of HRI personnel in performing their routine tasks. So a computer program nowadays is very helpful. So this will help very significantly. So there are three levels of decision making in an organization. So these are strategic, tactical, and operational. So the information needs to the manager depends on the levels at which they work. In order to make good decisions, the manager will collect the information from the different departments. So there are some features of human resource information system. So the important features of a good human resource information system are as follows. The first one is job and pay history. We need to deal with that. The second one is ability to import and export data and ad hoc report writing. This is all about issues. So there are some common applications of human resource information systems. So this is some of the applications of HRIS or human resource information system are the following. The first one is planning. Planning, it is implemented by the application in personnel and succession planning, labor relation planning, target analysis and organizational charting. The second one is staffing and employment. This application handles recruitment activities. It ensures with employment equity. The other one is training and career development. This application deals with analyzing training needs. The other one is performance management. This application deals with performance appraisals. The other one is compensation and benefits. Workers, they need to have compensation and benefits. That is a motivating factor. So each one is dealt in detail in the handout, so you can read it for yourself. Now we will proceed to the organizational discipline. Organizational discipline is very important. You see, every organization has its own way of doing things. So it's good to define what discipline means all about. So discipline is derived from a Latin word meaning to teach. discipline is essential for an organization to succeed and to stay competitive, while it fosters self-control, character, and efficiency. Discipline doesn't destroy individuality, rather it builds character. There are different disciplinary measures. So discipline is essential for the smooth functioning of an organization. It improves harmony. You see, unless there was a discipline process, there is no harmony. It prevents conflicts in an organization. The other one is organizational discipline can be defined as the force that prompts an individual or groups to observe rules, regulations, and procedures. So discipline is very important. In an organizational discipline, the main objective of organizational discipline is to correct, educate, and inform or reform the person. Organizational discipline aims to correct wrong behaviors, discipline offenders. The main objectives of organizational discipline are to obtain voluntary acceptance, to provide direction, to promote cooperation, to improve employee relations, and to improve efficiency and productivity. So discipline is very important. So there are some ways. Each organization has its own way of handling discipline. For example, in an organization which has big workers, they have their own way of collective agreement between the employer and the employee. So there it has already been stated the methods of discipline. So, for example, oral warning is given to subordinates by the supervisor. Second one is written warning. Employees who do not correct themselves with oral and written warnings are suspended from the work. So this is the first step. The fourth one is discipline over an extended period of time. So demotion. The fifth one is serious offense result in the employees being dismissed from the organization. So this is the fifth one. So there are different types of organizational discipline. You see, generally there are preventative and corrective discipline. Preventative discipline, this form of discipline encourages employees to follow rules and standards or regulations of the organization and to avoid controversy. The other one is corrective discipline. This will be applied in order to correct, action will be taken to correct the employee who have violated organizational rules. There are also positive and negative disciplines. Positive discipline makes employee voluntarily follow rules without any obligation. They follow. And negative discipline emphasizes on punishment. You see, if the organization have good leaders and gifted leaders, they develop that positive discipline. So this makes employees voluntarily follow rules without any obligation. So this is all about discipline. There are procedures in handling discipline. So disciplinary procedure is a step-by-step process which an organization follows while dealing with disciplining of any kind. It's a good practice for organization to establish a proper disciplinary procedure in order to ensure decisions. So that's very important. When handling discipline, it's good to consider the following issues. The first one is before disciplining or while analyzing a disciplinary problem, it's good to see the seriousness of the problem. Consider the severity of the problem. The other one is just duration of the problem. Analyze if there have been any past violations. The other one is frequency of the problem. Is it a one-time or it was just repeatedly done? The other one is circumstance. Examine if there are any external factors which are leading to the indiscipline. The other one is degree of familiarization. And the other issue is history of the organization's discipline practice and the management backing. So there are guidelines in order to apply disciplinary actions in an organization. So the first implication or guideline is just a red hot stove rule. There are different rules. So the name is very, very important. So it says a red hot stove rule. These are the 4 characteristics of an effective disciplinary procedure. So according to this rule, immediacy, or if you touch a red hot stove, your hand gets burnt immediately. So likewise, all disciplinary problems have to be handled immediately without giving them time. So only then will the employee understand the reason for the disciplinary action. The second one is forewarning. When you approach the red hot stove, you feel the heat. You are warned to touch. The third one is consistency. Any person who touches the red hot stove will get burnt. No disintegration or no division. So the other one is impartiality. All persons who touch the red hot stove get burnt. In the same way, all disciplinary actions must be impartial. So, an effective disciplinary process have its own guidelines. The first one, before you make disciplinary actions, is good to collect the data. In order to collect the data, you need to interview as many witnesses as possible during investigation. Use sufficient documentary evidence. Keep the length of time between the misconduct and the disciplinary action very short. Discipline rationally and do not involve emotions. The other one is forewarn the employee about the consequences of repeat violations. The fourth one is give the same punishment to misconduct. And the fifth one, conduct an impartial disciplinary process. The sixth one is discipline employees in private. So, as a manager, it's good to keep secrets. Only serious violations should be recriminated publicly. The seventh one is document in sufficient detail and accuracy. So, how do you handle these issues? So, common disciplinary procedures. There are different procedures. The first one is issuing a letter of charge, writing a letter for that disciplinary person. So consideration of the explanation, show cause notice, conduct a full-fledged inquiry, making a final order of punishment, and also appeal, and also follow up. It's good after disciplining a person, it's good to follow up if there was an improvement or not. It's good to handle and to follow up those issues. So by this, we will proceed to the grievance handling. So what's grievance? Grievance may be defined as a complaint or represent against any unjust or unfair act in an organization. So how do you handle if grievance happens in an organization? How do you handle those issues? So there are different ways, reasons for grievance of workers. The first one is economical reason. Issues related to wins like overtime, bonus, and also working environment. If the working environment is not suitable, grievance will be happen. Supervision. If there is just nepotism, if the supervisors are nepotized, or if they isolate people, people start just grievance. So work groups, issues with co-workers, like stressed relations in an uprise or with peers, so quarreling with peers. So these are very important issues to be considered. So needs for grievance redressal. So in order to address grievance, it's good to study what causes that grievance among the workers. That is very important. So grievance, there are steps in grievance procedure. So there are issues to consider. The first one is amenities. Amenities, compensation, conditions of work, continuity of service, and disciplinary action. So these are very important issues. So each organization has its own handling grievance policy. So there are different types of handling grievance policy. One of the first well-experienced is just open door policy. And this policy, the distressed employee is free to meet the top executive of the administration and get his grievance readdressed. In larger organizations, top management executives are usually very busy and have no time to handle. The other one is step ladder policy. In this policy, the distressed employee has to follow a step-by-step method. So grievance redress policy are different ways. So it's good to deal grievance appropriately in a proper manner each way. So by this, we'll proceed to the conflict resolution. We have discussed this thing before, but just to give you feedbacks in order to handle conflicts. Conflicts arise while we are living in this world. So in order to handle conflicts, the first thing is just mediation. Mediation is very important. We have discussed that. The other one is arbitration and compromise. So these are very general issues that we need to deal. So by this, we proceed to the collective bargaining and negotiation. Okay, by this we proceed to the next level. Be blessed.